I froze mid-step, laundry basket in my arms, when Allison's words sliced through the air like glass. Clara, honestly, your kids just aren't high caliber enough for Madison's birthday. I can't have them there. My chest slammed with disbelief, humiliation blooming hotter than the Denver sun outside our kitchen window. How could my own sister, the one who used to rock my babies to sleep, reduce Lucy and Noah to disposable guests? If you're enjoying this, please subscribe and share. Your support keeps the stories coming. I wanted to yell, but my voice locked itself behind a wall of shock. Lucy, coloring in oblivion on the table, glanced up and smiled. Noah tugged at my sleeve, asking for a snack. I wanted to scream at Allison, tell her she had no right to measure my children's worth against her shallow standards. But instead, I just closed my eyes and counted to 10, hoping my trembling wouldn't show. Thomas, sitting at the counter with his laptop, caught my look and frowned. What happened? His voice was calm, but his eyes carried the kind of steel that made people regret crossing us. I swallowed the lump in my throat. She said Lucy and Noah aren't good enough for Madison's party. The words felt absurd even as I said them, like they belonged in a nightmare, not my living room. Allison's laugh was thin, cutting. Clara, I'm just being honest. You can't blame me for trying to maintain the right image. Right image? Her words dripped with venomous superiority, a family-approved hierarchy she'd built in her mind. I could feel my blood boil, but I kept a calm mask because I knew losing my temper would hand her a victory she didn't deserve. That night, I sat on the floor of my bedroom, Noah asleep on my lap, Lucy's tiny hands still clutched in mine. I thought about all the times I'd fought for them quietly, late nights making science projects, extra shifts to buy ballet shoes, endless hours of bedtime stories and scraped knees kissed better. We had no grand estates, no designer clothes, no exclusive social circle, but we had love, and that was worth more than any gold-plated invitation. By morning, Thomas and I had a plan. Allison's rejection wouldn't define our children. Instead of letting their spirits be crushed under her judgment, we would create a day that made them feel like the world belonged to them. Tickets to the Denver Zoo, a private tour, and a picnic under the towering giraffe's shadows. Simple, real, unforgettable. I could already hear Lucy squealing at the penguins, Noah giggling at the meerkats, and for the first time, the sting of Allison's cruelty began to fade, replaced by a quiet fire. But as we packed the car, Thomas's phone buzzed with an email notification that made his face go pale. "Clara, you're not going to believe this," he whispered. I leaned closer, curiosity prickling my nerves. The subject line alone made my stomach drop. Unauthorized deals under your name. And just like that, our day of joy teetered on the edge of an entirely different storm, one that promised betrayal, exposure, and a lesson Allison would never forget. "Allison," I said slowly, letting the weight of her name hang between us, "you've crossed a line." Her laugh, the same thin, practiced tone from weeks ago, tried to mask panic, but I could hear it crack. "Clara, you don't understand." "I understand perfectly," I interrupted, my voice steady, cold. "Brian has been using Thomas's name for fraudulent deals. I have proof, everything. And tomorrow you plan to let him present the largest one yet, thinking no one will notice. But we've already informed his clients and the authorities." There was silence on the other end, then a sharp intake of breath. You wouldn't." "Oh, I would," I said, "and I am, because no one, not even family, is above integrity, especially when children are involved, watching every choice we make." I hung up before she could protest further. A storm of adrenaline rushed through me, mingled with a strange sense of triumph. Thomas came over, eyes gleaming, and wrapped me in a brief hug. "We did the right thing," he murmured. I nodded, letting myself feel it, the satisfaction of protecting what mattered most, of silently achieving victory while Allison flaunted her shallow world. That night, news spread quietly but efficiently. Brian's fraudulent deals were halted, investigations began, and his reputation crumbled faster than Allison's curated social image. At the same time, our family's simple trip to the Denver Zoo became legendary in our circle, not for luxury, but for joy, love, and the moments that money could never buy. Lucy and Noah ran among the giraffes, chasing butterflies, unaware that their mom and dad had just rewritten the rules of justice and dignity. Allison's calls slowed. Her social media posts turned apologetic, calculated. She had learned the hard way. Appearances could be shattered, and real power wasn't in elite invitations or designer parties. It was in courage, honesty, and protecting the ones you love. Weeks later, I sat on the porch with Thomas, watching our kids play in the yard, dirt on their knees, smiles wider than the horizon. I realized that day had changed everything. We had drawn boundaries, enforced respect, and proven that love was the ultimate measure of worth. No party, no privilege, no social hierarchy could ever diminish that. Lucy tugged at my sleeve, holding a butterfly she'd caught in a jar. She said, eyes shining. Noah joined, holding a bright feather he'd found. And in that moment, I knew our children had learned self-worth not from words, not from parties, not from anyone's approval. They had learned it from us, from quiet victories, from standing up, from choosing joy over humiliation. Allison might have thought she could humiliate us, control the narrative, or dictate our children's value, but the truth, the unshakable reality was clear. The smallest acts of love, courage, and integrity always outshine arrogance, and in that realization, a deep, satisfying power settled in my chest, a power that no social ladder, no family betrayal, and no shallow judgment could ever take away.